Hello guys, today it's going to be Taittinger. So excited about this one. We're going to rate all the Taittinger cuvées on our tier list so that you know what is what and what is worthy of drinking. Of course, everything of Taittinger is worthy of drinking, but is there something immortal to the Rosé? That is just delicious because it started with that, then they made the Rosé. So basically, I will then, I need to, have some sort of, order some anarchy in this one. Anarchy is order, so some sort of anarchy in this whole thing. So we won't put that also on the immortal, although I kind of would like to. But yeah. So it is delicious. It is the same thing, but just with the rosé. So kind of like the funny thing is, I prefer the rosé a bit more. But there is something originality on that. But I prefer everything as a rosé more. So that's about it. By the way, Taittinger, do a rosé vintage. Maybe, please, for moi, rosé vintage. Okay, let's continue. Taittinger vintages. Oh my God. Oh my God. Immortal, completely, utterly immortal. If you disagree with me, you are a complete fool and an idiot. But here is the tricky part. If you go now for the 16, you won't get what I am talking about. If you drink the 15 or 14, you get what I'm saying. The 16 is a bit sleepy now. I have to taste it a couple of times more. I'm doing a separate video on that and the vintage of Taittinger because of the love of the vintage champagnes, and so it is something completely and utterly out of this world. It is like a mini Comtes de Champagne. It is so perfumey, so elegant. I love to show that to people because they are so shocked. And because most of the people are drinking labels and mediocre champagnes, but that is just something purely out of this world. The only problem with the vintages is the consistency, because of course it's the vintage, so it's not always the same, but oh my gosh, 14, 15, it's been so many years I've been drinking delicious Taittinger vintages, and I'm hoping that 16 will open up a bit also, and also, like at one point, I think it was 2011 or 12, when Comtes de Champagne was selected as the best champagne in the world. And the funniest thing is that the vintage was, I think at that time the vintage was 2004. No, yeah, I think the vintage was 2004 or 5. And that was then the second best champagne in the world, and I was a part of that tasting. I tasted like over 1,000 champagnes that year, all the ones that releases, and I have to agree, it was phenomenal. When Taittinger's vintages hit home, like the 15 and 14, they are phenomenal. That's why we're spending so much time now talking about those. But it is a phenomenal champagne. Buy the vintage, yes, buy, drink, keep, drink, everything. Because the vintages, I'm not sure, should I do it? Maybe I do it. Yeah, I have to. They also age beautifully. I have had 73, I have had 64, I have had a lot of vintages age also. They age absolutely gorgeously beautiful. So it is also one for the keeps. And if you find older vintages, do drink, and feel free to send an invite for me to come to drink with you, because I gave you this information, so you kind of owe me for that. And speaking of that, if you like these videos and want more of these launches, support me on Patreon. There's links in the description, because doing these videos a lot of time, and also the fun stuff is on Patreon. Get the behind the scenes stuff, and also the joy of supporting somebody, because I get nothing of when Taittinger is going to sell a lot of vintages, and I don't want on that. They should sell a lot. It's a quality thing, but support me on my endeavors and buy my books. Dom Pérignon book and the new Dom Pérignon book and the future books that are going to be coming. But yeah, Taittinger vintage. Oh, they are so good. They're like, I can't. It can't be, sorry, it cannot be immortal. There's so many, like, I'm now just resetting, because I have a personal relationship with Taittinger. So everything with Taittinger is immortal to me. So they're just delicious. Let's get your head straight, because there are some others that are on that. But yeah, okay, Now we go to different versions of vintages, the art series. And this is a tricky one. I would say, okay, yeah, the art series is immortal. The first one was launched at 83, and the vintage inside was 78. And for me, the first time that I met Clovis Taittinger, we drink the 85, the Roy Lichtenstein that was launched in 1990. So it's like 5 years around there. So, but for me, that was the first. That's kind of the first ever, like for champagne that did something smart with art. And if you just investigate that, I will do separate videos. I need to do one on the art series, because it is very, 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 very cool. It is super, super cool what they do there. But it's just, it is a Taittinger vintage inside, and the case is like plastic and stuff, and the design like, and if you don't know, like Roy Lichtenstein, like that is an absolute immortal, insane artist for modern art at the time. So it's not just your local Instagram girl with watercolors and stuff. It is actually some serious stuff, and I really, really love that. That the whole thing is absolutely immortal. And now the same version as age. This is actually the Liechtenstein design. They also are kind of price quality wise a bit smart. I think 300-400 euros for those older first editions. They're not that in collectible scenes. I don't know why. Yeah, of course, people are so busy, buying Lady Gaga's and Lenny Kravitz, and oh my God. So just reset. Edward, get back to Zen. Yeah, so they are busy on those things. So opportunity that, but still, I have had some issues with how the bottles have been kept. So I'm a bit and to pay like 300-400 euros for Taittinger vintage, like I rather buy a bottle of Comtes de Champagne. So from this nice little gesture, we arrive to Comtes de Champagne that I need to do own videos and books about. It is, boom, immortality out of this world. If you don't know anything about Comtes de Champagne, if you haven't tasted that, taste that. It is, don't taste the vintage of 11. It is complete and utter trash. It's a disgrace for whole Comte. I haven't had Comte in a couple of years because like I had the 11 and I was so disappointed in that. Usually I drink like 50 bottles a year of Comtes de Champagne. When the vintage is good and I'm on a good mood, it's like I just float on that. I pretty much drink more Comtes than Dom Pérignon. Now with the Dom Pérignon book, it's vice versa, but that it's now printed, so I can go back to drinking a lot of Comtes de Champagne. But it is my absolute favorite champagnes. It is something completely and utterly out of this world on style. It is this perfumey taste, so light, so elegant. It is, and also for me, it was like from the vintage that I've been drinking. I think I had the 98 was the first one that I had. Then I had the 99 and as fresh release, and then from 2000 onwards, that was an insane vintage for Comtes de Champagne. I have been drinking. I had that like 60 times in a year, and since that I've been following it. But for me, it's always the fresh vintages. They are so great, and we had this thing like. At those times with my mentors, that like this desert island champagne, it's not like what champagne you take with you on a desert island. It's like if there's a pallet of Comtes de Champagne, I'll fucking swim to the island. So that's a desert island champagne. So yeah, I would swim to drink my pallet of Comtes. So yeah, and with age, my gosh, it's immortal. I get like goosebumps about talking about that. I've had some. The first vintage is 52. If you didn't know, it's the original champagne of James Bond. Actually, on the books of Ian Fleming, it's Taittinger Blanc de Blanc that later became Comtes de Champagne. But yes, that is the thing. It is astonishing. It ages so beautifully. It can actually compete in the category of 100 points range with the best of the best. So basically Dom Perignon's, Crystal's, Belle Epoque at the eras, and Nicolas Francois Billecart, that was insane at those times. But it is just something that you can beautifully age We're going to talk a lot about Comte. I'm going to do a lot of videos on Comte later onwards, but yeah, it is truly, truly worth buying, drinking. So basically, buy 24 bottles and drink 12 and then keep the rest for longer, and then you should have a new vintage. If you're running low on stock, buy more so that you have something for that. But it's Comte is like for me it's sacred. It's like a religion kind of a thing. I also have a tattoo in my other arm of Comte. But yeah, it is completely. And okay, Comte de Champagne Rosé, immortal. For me, like where the Rosé hit me, it was the 2006 vintage where I had a lot of both. That's also like over 50 times I drank it, and often side by side. But for me, the Comte as a Rosé elevates even more. Now there have been so many like 2009 as a vintage, like it's 11 vintage. I haven't even tasted that as a rosé, and I think I'm gonna skip altogether. Maybe educational purpose, but I don't want to drink something like if a beautiful Comte de Champagne has a bad day, a bad year. Why would I punish myself with that? I want to see when it's good, bright, and beautiful on its best. So it is completely, utterly insanely amazing. Now I think the 12, the 8 was also a problem because yet again, all of you 2008 lovers, it is not ready to drink. I think now it's starting to open up, but everybody, I'm so fucking annoyed on the people on internet, and when I see these, that's why I don't read tasting notes, and now I sometimes get to, but like it's so great and 99 points, like what the fuck? Sorry for my curse words, but what the fucking fuck? Like you have no taste. Some of you guys, like, you know, like I started to do publicly these things like decades into, not when I'm just learning and stuff, but like I'm yeah, okay, let's move on. But yeah, the rosé, just insane, insanely beautiful. And when it ages, still immortal. We just had, it was 66 is the first vintage. I think we had the 69, like just a couple of years ago, and it is. And at the 73, just basic Comte last year, it is, those are like, there's actually a video of that. There should be, I think I made a video. Yeah, I made a video on that. It is just something that humbles me how goddamn good the champagne can be. And Comte, the champagne in basic and rosé, it is kind of like, it's like bloody P2 level. It's the end of the world kind of greatness that there is, that is unmatched. Nobody's trying to copy. They can't. It's just something that when you get it, you get it. And they make around 350,000 bottles of the Comte de Champagne. So it's a nice hefty amount. Crystals around 1 million. Dom Pérignon, no official numbers, but around 5-7 million bottles. So it's a lot, but it's good. There's plenty. And nobody cares how much they make Armand de Brignac. It's over 1 million bottles of Cartier that is sold in those golden things. That's why they have their own category there. So, but yeah, it is. And I don't know how much of the rosé. I remember they told me the numbers when I visited the cellars, because I used to live just next to Taittinger for like 2.5 years when I lived in Reims. But it is so nice. I hope you enjoyed. This became a long video, but it just shows the pure love and everything that I have for Taittinger. And yeah, it is. I tell me which one I should make next. Which is the next one as a house that we need to go the cuvées through. But here you can see like the only weakness, the basic brut, but it's okay. There's still some potential, but like so much is on the immortal. For every, if you want to create your own champagne house, don't. That's how you should do. Be immortal.